I get a lot of questions about different aspects of flower making, and probably most questions are about tools. So in 2019 I decided to make a series of different videos on flower making tools that I use, to show you how they can be used, and different uses for shaping either petals or leaves or other parts of the flower, because it's probably better to show, easier to show than to try and explain in words. So today is the first video out of this series, and we are going to talk about these two tools which look exactly the same. The only difference is that one is a solid, smooth, and the other one has a groove inside. So they're called extra narrow tools because they're, as you can see, they're very narrow and very dainty, and they allow us to shape beautiful leaves. In fact, these are the only tools that you might need to shape your leaves. So if you have those, your leaves needs are going to be basically covered. Also, their use doesn't end there, so I'll show another example of how they can be used. But also, you can experiment and try and use them in different ways to enhance your flowers or parts of the flowers that you make. So first thing that we're going to do is going to shape some of the leaves that I have prepared earlier, and then a calyx. So for shaping I'm going to use a medium pad. It's about 1.5 centimeters thick, and it's quite hard, but at the same time has a give which allows us to give a three-dimensional feel to our leaves. So I have prepared a couple of leaves. As always, they are bagged and they are kept in a bag until you are ready to shape them. Having them slightly damp from the glue after you have backed them with a fabric, with a backing fabric, will allow you to achieve a smoother shaping, smoother lines, and better curves on your leaves. So I highly recommend doing that rather than just shaping your leaves dry. So I'm using a tool with a groove here, simply because we can use it to shape around the wire as well. You might want to use some other tools to do that, but because we're working with these tools today, I'm showing how to do it with that tool. So basically, place your leaf upside down and round the tool along the wire slowly, so you can see the groove goes around on either side of the wire like this. So this is a classic way of shaping leaves. Because I'm right-handed, for me it's easier to shape this part of the leaf naturally. That's why I'm going to shape half of it from the wrong side, then turn it around and shape the other half again from coming from this side, which is easier for me. So let's start. First of all, check the temperature of your tool. Sometimes they can get really hot and that will burn the leaf. Also, if you're working with fabrics that contain metallic fibers, they are quite sensitive to the heat, so and burn easier than silk and other fabrics. So it's better to check the temperature of your tool on a spare piece of fabric. So once the tool is hot and you are satisfied with the temperature, you start by shaping the tip of the leaf. The idea is to go slowly, and whilst your leaf is still quite warm, you can help with your other hand to shape the fabric following the tool. So the key here is to work slowly. The tool is very much parallel to my pad. I'm working with this part, not with the tip, but with this part of it. So going very slowly, and you can see because I have a groove, you can almost see two lines on the satin. Satin is quite a nice fabric for the leaves, and it will show you two lines running parallel of the tool that you're using. So I've turned the leaf around, and I also shaped the other part again whilst helping with my other hand. So here is the leaf, and if you can shape leaves for your projects yourself, you can forget about buying any vintage style or any types of leaves, because you can create your own leaves in the color that you want, and the size that you want, and in the fabric that you want. So same here, I'm going to run my tool along the wire and then start with the tip. So the tip I want quite curly and going quite low, parallel almost to my wire. Again, another one. And these leaves are not very big, so you might get 3 lines on each side, if that. You can start with serrations, but it doesn't have to be. If you want to, you can. As you are shaping your leaf, it becomes harder as it's drying. Right, so here are the little leaves, and for the calyx here, I'm going to show you how to use the other tool, which is basically the same but doesn't have a groove. The tool with a groove, which makes 2 lines on fabric, is quite good for using not only for shaping leaves, but also for shaping petals, or adding texture to the petals for the flowers, like orchids, for example. You can use it on lilies, you can use it on some other flowers which will benefit from a pattern like that. So simply run the tool as many times as you can squeeze into the size of the petal, and you see this delicate pattern appearing on the leaves, which is going to look much better than just a plain flat fabric. Again, this is done with this extra narrow tool with a groove. I'm showing how to use the tool on the orchid petals in the tutorial on silk orchids. I'm going to leave all the links for the tools, tutorials, fabrics that I'm showing here below the video, so you can check them out. Right, so it's the same tool basically, but no groove, and I'm going to use it on this rose calyx. So shaping from the wrong side of the calyx, which has again been backed with a layer of thin fabric. So here we'll just need to accentuate all the points of the calyx, and again we're using our other hand to help us do so. Whilst the fabric is still warm. So you can give this part of the rose a nice curves. Again, as you're shaping, the glue is drying and the calyx is becoming harder. Right, so this is the calyx shaped, and you can see all the tips are quite nice and curly. These were the tools that we worked with today. I showed several uses of them. Again, they can be used for making little accents on the petals of the flowers as well, or shaping quite small flowers. But as there are many flowers to make, there are also many different ways of using the same tool. So I'll try to cover as many as I can, but you feel free to experiment and find your own ways of using flower making tools that you have. See you soon in a new video on flower making tools.